Hello everyone, this is Mira, and I'm here with a Laura matchup guide. And the first one we're gonna do is Ryu. It's one of the most common characters that you'll fight. It's one of her worst matchups, and it got even worse now that Ryu got mad buffs. So there is good ways to fight it. I'll show you my approach when I fight Ryu players. So let's just get right into it. This is, specifically for Laura, but there are some like general matchup knowledge tips that even if you do not play Laura, you might be like, oh, maybe I can apply it to my game plan as well. So first thing is, it's really Laura specific, but when going into matchups, you should be aware of what their counters to your tools are. And one of Laura's best tools is Thunderclap, specifically used as like a little spacing tool. You can use it as like a little space trap for pressure. But this is not a great idea against Ryu. Ryu can low forward under all of Laura's fireballs. It's like, and no, that was a frame trap. So like obviously like. But I'm just showing you that, yeah, it just goes clean under. As his hitbox is very low, and the hitbox of the button hits you out, and then the clap dissipates. You can do it with actually a wide variety of buttons. So basically, from a bunch of different spaces, it's not a good idea. How am I gonna set this one up? I guess I'll just do it this way. I didn't think this one through. There we go. Oops. There we go. Yep. So it's just a button like sweep, crouch, light kick, crouch, medium kick. Gonna go clean through it. So when playing this matchup, you have to be aware of that. So it might be a risk to go for it. I would say definitely try it and see if the Ryu is actually like paying attention or they actually know the matchup. Because if they don't, then it just gives you an easier time. And it's actually what makes the matchup more frustrating for me is when I get in, I can't bully. But I would do this for like every character you fight and see what their options is to beat your Thunderclap. So the big portion we're going to talk about is fireballs. I mean, it's one of Ryu's greatest strengths. It can give Laura some issues, so we'll just go right into that. So he has really good recovery on his fireballs. It's like 30 frames of recovery, like 32 or something like that. And it can seem like trying to walk forward and block, like it can be really hard. Look, I'm not really feel like I'm gaining any space because if I go too far, I might get hit. Neutral jumping, really good tool. As you can see, he can't throw another fireball until that fireball leaves the screen. So if they try to just autopilot and throw fireballs twice, you'll see, yeah, he gets the forward heavy punch. And if you see that, this is a huge like green light for you to, alright, I'm gonna start charging my level 2 Thunderclap. It charges really fast now. They buffed it. So it makes this fireball work actually a little bit better. Especially if they don't have meter, you can put a level 2 projectile on the screen before them, so they have to deal with it. Which makes actually this matchup very doable, because if you see, they try to like use their fireballs to dissipate yours. You can actually blow right through it with the medium bolt because you have 2 hits. It's okay. And you see how like fast I can actually charge these. Like it's really good. So like if you're full screen like this, you can try to throw like a level 2. As long as they don't have EX. EX I think is a little, you have to be a little bit more cautious unless you're really willing to take that EX. So if they're like, now they're just throwing, alright, fireball, and they're waiting for if you neutral jump and they throw another one. Alright, which one did I put it on? There we go. You can see you have time now to take that space back. So you can walk forward a little bit and inch bit by bit and reclaim some space. This is a real grind of a matchup, and you have to like proceed very cautiously if you want to win. A lot of times Ryu players will, to maintain that good spacing for them to anti-air DP, they'll go fireball and then they'll kind of wait and try to look for you to jump, and then if you didn't, throw another fireball, which is really good for you because now you start walking with him, and eventually he's going to go so far that he's not going to be able to go any farther, and you're like, well, there's really only a couple options when Ryu players are in the corner. They can fight their way out, but a lot of times they just try to helicopter out, which honestly isn't very good against Laura. It's actually, I think, really bad. You can well, obviously heavy bolt. Whoops. Spacing will vary, but if you stay around like this range right here, you can kind of react to anything. So he's not going anywhere. You don't really have to pressure Ryu too much. The job is done. He's cornered. He's not going anywhere. So you can kind of pick your spots, and now they either have to play footsies with you, or they have to try to commit to an option to escape. And you should always be wary of that mistake. Even if you miss the heavy bolt, you can actually buffer a medium bolt, and you'll be able to catch the recovery of the landing frames of the Tatsu. Obviously, probably light bolt is better, safe on block in case you mess up, but yeah. So once you start really taking away or making them uncomfortable to throw fireballs, they're gonna now start to play more neutral with you, like with buttons. So really the best place to stand against Ryu is, in my opinion, outside of low forward range. Stand short is going to be your best friend in this matchup. I would definitely, if you haven't already, learn how to buffer light bolt after stand short, because this is going to catch a lot of buttons that they like to throw out. Mainly, oops, that's not that one. Low forward. This is their best poke. They're going to look to either go into Tatsu or just commit to a low forward and a fireball string. So like if you stand outside here and buffer stand short and the light bolt, not even like, you don't even have to really look for the whiff punish. You can kind of just throw it out, because look at that hitbox. It deals with low forward really well. And the great thing about it also deals with one of its other good pokes, is stand medium kick. It also catches that hitbox. So normals that catch multiple buttons like this, especially like your stand short, which has like very good frame data, it's gonna be really helpful for you. Another buffer that you can use, you can either look for the whiff punish, but or you can use it as a counter poke, is crouch medium punch. Because as you can see, it doesn't move her like too far forward, and it's kind of hard for Ryu to contest that. Eventually you're going to be in a weird range, and Ryu won't like it, so they're going to forward heavy punch. Once I see that they're very uncomfortable, and if they're just throwing that out a lot, you can start neutral jumping to try to catch that forward movement. Or it's okay, even if you just block it. Now they're like -2 right in front of you. You can go for a throw, you can go for like a button to try to catch them backdashing or walking back. Yeah, being -2 right in front of Laura, this is what you want. So if they start throwing this button out, like I said, patience, perseverance is a real grind. So yeah, the key buttons I would vary pretty much in most matchups though is stand short, low forward, crouch medium punch. I would avoid stand heavy kick, because Ryu has a really good stand light kick that's 4 frames and is really good at punishing her. So I would avoid that. You could maybe throw a fireball like this range. You have to just be very wary of that 7 frame sweep. Again, you have to test your opponent. You can't just assume that they know. Another thing about Ryu, he's very straightforward. He's very high damage, but he's not like Laura with command grabs, or like other characters with like 50-50s and stuff. His 50-50 is pretty much just normal throw or a button. And taking the throw, honestly, is your best bet unless you can't really take it. He does have very good throw pressure. So it's something to be wary of, because like he's in range with the stance wrong. But you have to, like any character, you have to, or any player, you have to see what they're doing after those situations and react accordingly. So that's something to keep in mind though, is that he's really trying to trick you into like jumping or rushing, so he can get a lot of that big damage started. He really doesn't want to play that slow grind and get pushed in the corner. It's like a classic, like Laura is still a grappler. Like, it's grappler versus like zone or archetype. You just gotta wear them down. And then when you do, it's party time. Another thing is common Ryu strings. Oops. Oops. I don't want that. That's not a common string. Oops. That's why they always do overhead. Something like that. And they micro walk, and then they'll go into low forward, and they like to end their strings in fireball with like a lot of shotos. Depending on the range, it's going to be a true block string. But I would, if you see that fireball, I would always be buffering an EX bolt or EX command grab, sunset wheel. That's what my character's moves names are. So they can't just autopilot the end of string. You really need to start clipping them for doing this. Something else if you have without meter is well, not EX meter. If you have V gauge, is if I can space it out, Ryu's low forward in a fireball is really good this season. It's really, really good. There we go. That's gonna be too close. Wow, Ryu. I'm buffering a V shift behind it. Yeah, so you can punish it that way and knock them back. Likewise, this is also really good in neutral against fireballs. So around this range, if you can react to it, it's a little hard, but you'll be able to knock them back. So this will also help you win the fireball war. At the cost of half of a V gauge, you just have to be really careful about the spacing. So you don't want to whiff a V break right in front of them. And you see that Laura's V break, it knocks them really, really far. It's a very valuable tool, and I think using this instead of like V trigger, or you'll probably maybe still even get V trigger at the end, but it's just the screen control and the corner is more important than V trigger in this matchup, in my opinion. V trigger is still very good in this matchup and very important, like in its own right though, if you do have it. Just raw activating, and that was a level 2 thunderclap. That was really fast, 25 frames. You can really oppress Ryu with the fireball war. If he's not in V trigger 1, he is losing this fireball war. He has to commit heavy to like Tatsu or a crouch medium kick. So always be aware, if they're like seem to like doing nothing, just walk up. You don't only have to throw fireballs. You can, just the threat of the fireball is enough, honestly, a lot of the times. So don't forget that you don't only have to throw fireballs when you're in V trigger. Your light bolt, all your buttons, like, or your special moves are powered up. So the fear of the fireball will like make them more cautious about throwing. Maybe they'll look to try to counter your fireballs, and then you walk up, low forward, light bolt, and you got in. Alright. So now that you might be able to, like, you caught him, we have to know, like, as lower players, you probably already know this, but stand fierce and EX clap and a stand heavy punch. So mix up, it doesn't work on everybody. It does work on Ryu, however. So being aware that what you can actually get off of your like your punishes or your damage ender, like, see, does this actually work? Because sometimes you'll be doing it against a character and it just doesn't work, so you might want a different route. It does work against Ryu. It's a good tool. But crush counter combos against Ryu. As I said, like, corner carry is very important in this matchup, and sometimes you might want to sacrifice damage for corner carry. So look at how, like, close they actually got put, like, almost to the corner. So here, well, we're in the corner right here, and then that's like half screen right there. It's really good corner carry for no meter. Spent. You can also just do a damage ender with Stand Fierce and a medium thunderclap. It's not all characters you use medium thunderclap. Some characters you will use heavy thunderclap to use this combo. So definitely check in training mode to see which is which. You don't want to try to do a heavy thunderclap and it doesn't completely combo. And at least you're plus 3. Oh, you're plus 3. That's interesting. Yay, bucks. Can I get a combo off of this? That's cute. So you can still get a little conversion off of it, but not a lot. In V-Trigger, I do believe you can get a level... Oh, Ryu is pretty good, huh? Alright, you can't get a level 3 Thunderclap. You can't. I wish you could. Yeah. So, honestly, the best crush counter in I don't think you can get a jump in either. Oh, you can get a jump in, so that's probably the best. But if you're just doing a crush counter combo, level 2 heavy thunderclap into whatever ender you choose is really, really strong. Today I learned. I just never go for this against Ryu because I'm afraid. So there's a little bit of optimization. You can get a neutral jump punish. You just can't get the level 3 clap into the level 2 clap against Ryu. Yeah. So that just goes over most of it. The V system, I'm sure you all really know. Like his V skill 1, it's a parry. Why did my thing freeze? Oh, there we go. So if you do decide to jump at a Ryu and you see this, like if you see that parry, I would jump a lot more often because they're not doing a real anti-air. They're just hoping that you hit a button. So you can just neutral or empty jump and just crush counter them for doing this really bad anti-air. Because he does have one of the best anti-air DPs in my opinion in the game. It's very reliable. So always be wary of that as well. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I know I didn't say about like if you can react to EX like Bolt with against fireballs. Obviously, if you have that reaction, definitely go for it. Because now you get real Oki off of this, and it's very dangerous for the Ryu player. I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I'm still. I want to emphasize though that this is very, very strong. I know I only briefly like touched on it, but I really think that this is one of the keys to really harassing Ryu this season with Bishet. And I'm trying to look to implement it more in my game plan as well. And I hope this helped. I'm Mira, and I'm sorry for like all the ums and uhs and the little hiccups. I'm trying to streamline this a little bit better, but I love you guys. I don't like Ryu. I hate him. But otherwise, yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.